Hey everyone, I'm Kyle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking a brief departure from my Japan videos and I'm posting a review video for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I purchased this console back right before launch day. I purchased it on eBay. So some of my friends requested that I make this video since they saw that I purchased one. And this is the first console I've ever purchased at launch before. I have waited for 3 years for this console since it was first teased by Nintendo and when it was still called the Nintendo NX. Now, I'll spare you the technical details and technical jargon, and I'll point you to the Nintendo page for their specs right down below here. Click on that link, that will take you to their page where they'll talk about the processor speed, whether it is in handheld mode or when it's docked. It talks about the resolution, what basically the device is capable of as a gaming console. I believe that this device really shines as a handheld. It's very capable of being a good home console, and it is. So where you can disconnect the Joy-Con controllers, which is what these are called, you can disconnect it from the console and you can connect it to what's called the Joy-Con grip and plug this device into your TV, dock it on the TV stand that comes with it, and then you have your controller separate. It actually works really nicely as a home console. When you plug it into the dock, it goes up to a higher resolution and a higher processor speed to handle that higher resolution and playing things at the same rate. So I've been playing my Nintendo Switch as exclusively a handheld. I really love it as a handheld. There's something truly special about playing full Legend of Zelda on a handheld. Now I want to take a brief second to talk about these. These are the Joy-Cons. These are what you can disconnect from the side of the console when you dock it as a home console. The cool thing about these is that you can give one to your friend and you can play split screen 2-player in the same game. They each have shoulder buttons up top and then they've got 4 face buttons as well as a joystick. Really just a neat addition from Nintendo. Them really truly showing that they think way outside the box. Now, I did have some difficulties with these controllers or connecting and disconnecting additional controllers to the console. In reality, it's not really that big of a deal. They do give you a screen that you can go into where you can disconnect and reconnect controllers and manage who has what controller and how they're oriented, whether you've got one Joy-Con per person or if one person is using 2. Now, one gripe that I have about the Nintendo Switch is that when you're playing 2-player, typically, if you're on the go, you want to flip out the kickstand. Kickstand is right on the back of the console right here, just flips out, and you'll notice that it's not the strongest thing. It's made of almost the flimsiest plastic on earth. It feels like it's going to break. I've used it a couple times. I'm terrified of using it. It is not my favorite thing to do to pull this thing out because I feel like I'm going to break it every time. So I think Nintendo could improve it there. Now, I mentioned the Joy-Con controller. Some people have complained saying that this controller, it just feels gimmicky, it's kind of an unneeded extra, and that some have said it even feels just weird. It doesn't feel like a good controller. I think it's super comfortable. I didn't think I'd like it because I've seen other people's reviews. I really am impressed with it. I like it more than I thought I would. So kudos to Nintendo on including this out of the box. Another negative that I want to talk about besides the kickstand is the Nintendo friend code system. So if you want to play online with your friends on their upcoming online play, you have to add a friend via a friend code. It's a pain. Microsoft and Sony don't do this on their consoles. They just kind of let you add whoever. Now, they did make it easier this time, Nintendo did, by making it so you only one person has to have a friend code, and then the other person either approves or declines their friend request on their Nintendo account page. This feature is probably pretty good for parents who are trying to protect their kids if they play online games. Otherwise, hardcore gamers aren't really too crazy about it. But again, this is something that I see would be handy for parents to be able to have a little bit more control and limit their children from kind of adding whoever online. Another negative about the console is that there's no Netflix app yet. There's also no other apps, really. Virtual Console's also missing. Now, some of these features are slated to be released soon, within the next few months, but right now, at launch, the console comes without them. I've also heard many people talk about the Switch's lack of capability to play 4K video. Honestly, I don't see it as a big deal. This thing can kick out full 1080p HD video when docked to your TV, so personally, I'm not particularly attached to being able to play 4K or not. I think it's great as is. I don't really miss the 4K, so I think that's water under the bridge. Of course, if you are a hardcore gamer, you want your games to look as crisp and awesome as possible. I mean, of course, I can understand it would be an issue when Xbox One and PS4 Pro offer 4K. There's another new feature, too, that Nintendo has added to their console, and it's this button right here. Now, this new button allows you to take screenshots while you're playing a game. Of course, I've shown some screenshots already on the screen here. I'll show a few more. While you're playing, you can hit the button. It'll save it to either internal memory or the micro SD card that you installed, which, by the way, the Nintendo Switch does not come with a micro SD card, but it does come with 32 gigabytes of internal storage built in. I've added a small little memory card and have my screenshots saving directly to there, just because it's easier to pop out the micro SD card, plug it into my computer, and manage the pictures that way than it is to share them to any social media service or anything else. It's just easier to manage them on a computer than on the Switch itself. So I think that the screenshot feature does have some room for improvement. I'd like to see the ability to share screenshots directly with people on your friends list. I think that would be a nice touch. I don't think Nintendo's done developing the option yet. I think that they're planning more with that feature, but for right now they just included out of the box for it to be able to post to Facebook and Twitter. And I mean, for right now, that's fine. I just wish it was a little easier to use the function. Now, you would think that for how much this game console is capable of, it would get pretty warm. It doesn't, actually. Playing it as a handheld, I mean, your hands, when you're holding it, you're not touching this area, which is where a lot of the heat can be generated because the heatsink and the processor are kind of in this area. Heatsink's up here, there's a little vent for the fan in this area. It doesn't get very hot. It's really surprising for a console that's so capable of such beautiful graphics. It doesn't get super warm. The fan also is very quiet and isn't noticeable at all. You can barely hear it, although you can feel the warm air sometimes being kicked out this vent on top. But it's not really a big deal. The console stays cool. No problems there. Docking to your TV only takes a few seconds. You literally take your console, plop it down in the dock, disconnect your Joy-Con, and connect them to your Joy-Con grip, or hold them just free like this. And only takes a few seconds for it to kick up the processor speed to display at a higher resolution, as opposed to the 720p resolution on the screen here to kick up to full 1080p HD, and it just speeds up the processor and does warm up the console a little bit more. Sometimes when you undock it, it's a little warmer than it would be if it were just in handheld mode, but it's not scalding hot. This console still stays relatively cool. Now, shortly I will give my conclusion on whether you should purchase this console or not, but I want to take a second to give a short review on Zelda Breath of the Wild. So basically in the game, you wake up from a 100-year coma. You get a neat tablet that does some neat tricks, you walk out of a cave, you find out that Ganon, this time called Calamity Ganon, he wants to destroy the world or rule the world and kill everyone, and you're the only one who can stop him. That's basically it for the tutorial. You hear the story, the game doesn't really tell you how to do anything, it just kind of leaves you there, like, okay, now there's this world you can explore, have fun, go wherever you want, do whatever you want. And that's basically where the tutorial ends. The game does not hold your hand at all, in the slightest. Kind of lets you do whatever you want. You will die, you will have to restart from some spots as you learn how the game mechanics work. Some new mechanics in this game include foraging for food and cooking the food. You can also search for items, and there's a lot of swords and axes and different items that you use. Now, the reason that they have you search for items like that instead of just getting them as upgrades and keeping them forever is because they break. The map is also huge, with various ecosystems and different climates and weather that is always changing. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it rains. When it's nighttime, sometimes there's a blood moon where the monsters that you've previously defeated will come back to life. Now, I've played this game for about 50 hours or more already. I have uncovered about 40% of the game's map, and I've explored about 10% of that. I've also got somewhere that's less than 10% of overall game completion. I haven't even done any of the game's main quest yet, and I'm just having fun exploring and seeing things and learning things about the mechanics of the game. Nintendo really opened up the world for you to do whatever you want in this game. Another neat concept that has kind of organically appeared and wasn't really planned by Nintendo, I think, was a hidden multiplayer aspect of this game. The cool thing about this is I've been playing with some of my coworkers, and so I bought the Switch, a couple of them bought the Switch or Wii U and that copy of the game, and we've been talking about what we've explored, what we've found, what we've seen, all the things we've done, the items we've found, and all the cool places that we've been. It's really neat because we can compare all these different stories, like, oh wow, I've gone off and done this, and this person has gone off and done the exact different thing on the opposite side of the map. I think Nintendo's encouragement of exploration, exploitation, and experimentation has really opened up the door to this multiplayer aspect, and it's just kind of organically appeared. Also, I want to say to all the haters out there saying that the game is ugly, this game is awesome looking. I mean, this is the best Zelda game I've ever played. I actually rate this as my best ever game I've ever played. Except for Jet Force Gemini and Nintendo 64. That game is awesome. In conclusion, the Nintendo Switch is more than just a fancy tablet, while remaining just enough of a console to satisfy all kinds of gamers of different types, hardcore or casual gamers. The Nintendo Switch also doesn't have any fancy gimmicks. It doesn't try to do too much, doesn't have a camera or any other fancy gimmicks as well. Now, the kickstand is cheap and does need to be reinforced, I believe. Also, it would be a neat touch to see Nintendo add some way to share screenshots and message your friends who are on your Nintendo account friends list. The games library for the Nintendo Switch is growing. There's over 100 games in development right now, according to Nintendo, and some are on the way later this spring and this summer, as well as Skyrim in the fall. There's also Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is being re-released from the Wii U to the Switch, and that's due on April 28th. Again, though, the library has a lot of growing to do. There needs to be more apps, more options, more utility to make this console worth it for people to purchase. I think that it could really benefit from having a Netflix app. I think they would attract a lot of casual gamers by adding an app like that, and anything else, like any social media apps possibly, maybe even an internet browser, because right now it lacks that too. Nintendo basically needs to bring their A game to E3 2017. They need to bring the games, they need to bring the experiences. People have proven that they want this console, more so than Nintendo actually predicted. They were originally going to be making 8 million more consoles, and they upped their order to 16 million consoles. So we should start seeing these become more available here very soon, hopefully, at least before the start of this summer. So should you buy a Nintendo Switch? Well, if you're a Zelda fan, yes. If you are a casual gamer, no. Of course, wait until later this year to purchase a console is always an option, since you'll have more games available anyways, more app options. Virtual console also may be available by then as well as online play. I want to thank you all for watching my videos. Thank you so much. I know that they're not the highest quality videos, although they do take a ton of work to make. Now, I am still experimenting. I don't know if I'll continue this YouTube thing. I also don't know what kind of videos I'm going to do in the future. I've had a lot of people requesting to see videos from our Japan trips, so that's mainly what I created this channel for, and people also requested that I make this review video, and so I hope you guys like it. Obviously, this review video was convenient because of my purchasing a Nintendo Switch. So if there's anything else that you would like to see, whether it's more Japan videos, which I do have more on the way, and some that I'm working on right now, let me know. Leave a comment on the video below. If you like what you see, please like this video. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more. Also, I've included a link down below here to my fiancée Lacey's channel. She talks about her travels to Japan and experiences there, and just a lot of different things. And it's just a really fun channel to watch. She's got several hundred subscribers already. I just want to give her a little plug on this video because she's really helped me make this channel, given me tips, and has really helped me to figure out this YouTube thing. Anyways, I'll be posting more videos soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.